What happens when the WNBA refuses to protect its biggest star? When blindside hits, eye gouges, and cheap fouls are brushed off like minor inconveniences? You get chaos, but not just any chaos. Sophie Cunningham chaos. Because the moment Caitlin Clark got slammed to the hardwood like a football dummy, Sophie didn't flinch, she activated. And what followed wasn't a hard foul, wasn't just retaliation. It was a declaration of war, the kind of message that doesn't come in words, but in stares, shoulder checks, and perfectly timed vengeance. This isn't basketball anymore. This is bodyguard ball. Welcome to the era of Sophie the Enforcer Cunningham. It all started with a swipe, J.C. Sheldon clawing at Caitlin Clark's face. Not a hand check, not light contact, an open palm right across the eye. Clark pushed her off, obviously stunned, and that should have been it. But then Tina Charles runs up, wagging her finger in Caitlin's face like she's schooling a child. And before you even have time to blink, Marina Mabrey comes flying in from out of nowhere and chucks Clark straight to the ground. Elbows, arms full body shove. Caitlin slams down hard, no foul called. Just a technical, no ejection. Not for Mabrey, not for Sheldon, nothing for Charles. Clark got the eye poke, the taunting, and the takedown, and she's the one the refs called for a technical? Make it make sense, because fans couldn't believe what they were watching. But Sophie, she didn't hesitate. She saw red. From the second Sophie Cunningham checked in, this wasn't about basketball. This was about drawing a line in the sand. No more warnings, no more polite team huddles, no more hoping referees do their job. This was now personal. Cunningham moved like a bodyguard, not a teammate. She scanned the court like a heat-seeking missile, searching for anyone bold enough to breathe on Caitlin Clark the wrong way. And when J.C. Sheldon made contact again, Sophie didn't just retaliate. She wrapped her up and dropped her. No hesitation, no calculation, just instinct. You mess with Caitlin, you answer to Sophie. There was no question what this game had become. It wasn't a matchup, it was fight night. Full-on WWE energy. Forget the score. It was about who could survive the smoke. Fans watching at home weren't just seeing jumpers and box outs. They were witnessing a protective reckoning. Sophie wasn't playing basketball, she was conducting courtroom justice. And the crime? Disrespecting Caitlin Clark. The punishment? Full body retaliation, followed by a slow walk back to the bench like, try me again. And if you think this was just a one-time flare-up, wrong. Sophie Cunningham has been building to this all season. She saw the same nonsense we all did, the ignored elbows, the silent whistles, the media narratives painting Clark as dramatic for wanting basic protection. Sophie didn't just snap. She evolved. From sharpshooter to full-time enforcer, from teammate to tactical bodyguard. She's not waiting for the league to step up. She is the league's last line of defense. Let's be honest, this wasn't even the first time Clark's been targeted. She's been hunted like prey ever since her name hit the draft board. Game after game, elbows to the ribs, slaps to the face, cheap shots under the rim, and all the league could offer was a pat on the back and a shrug. So Sophie Cunningham took matters into her own hands. And it wasn't just payback. It was a warning shot to the entire WNBA. You want to throw Caitlin to the floor? Try it now. See what happens. Sophie isn't playing dirty. Let's make that clear. Her fouls, strategic. Her movements, calculated. She operates on the edge of legality like a lawyer in sneakers. She knows the rule book and how to weaponize it. Every shoulder check, just hard enough to rattle. Every screen, just wide enough to make you rethink life. And the best part, she does it all with that smirk, that you messed up look that makes even the toughest vets hesitate. Social media exploded. The hashtag #sign Enforcer Sophie took over timelines. Fans weren't just cheering, they were relieved. Someone finally stood up for Caitlin. Someone finally made the league take notice. Commentators tried to spin it as reckless passion, but fans knew the truth. This was necessary. This was overdue. This was justice in real time, delivered by a player who doesn't care about optics, only outcomes. Even more shocking, Sophie posted from the locker room before the game ended, like she already knew her job was done, like the mission had been accomplished. Her message was loud, clear, and posted in real time. You touch her, you pay. The confidence wasn't arrogance, it was clarity. The league had failed to send a message, so she sent one herself. And look around, something's shifted. Players see Sophie differently now. Opposing teams are pulling up short, thinking twice before getting physical with Clark. Coaches are scrambling to adjust because their go-to tactic, roughing up the rookie, just got shut down. Sophie Cunningham has become the deterrent. The league this isn't hype, this is historical. The WNBA hasn't seen this kind of controlled chaos since Dennis Rodman was diving into photographers and boxing out entire rosters. Sophie's bringing back that bruiser energy, but with modern precision. It's not wild, it's weaponized. And she's not just doing it for headlines, she's doing it because Clark needs it, because the Fever needs it, because the league won't. And Caitlin, she never asked for this, but you better believe she appreciates it. Every time Sophie checks in, Clark knows she can breathe. She can play, she can drop threes without watching her back every possession. Sophie gives her space to be the superstar because she's handling everything else. The league needs to take a long, hard look in the mirror, because while they sell Caitlin Clark jerseys and post her highlights for clout, they're letting her get assaulted on the floor. And the only person doing anything about it is her teammate. That's not just a failure, it's an embarrassment. So what happens next time someone thinks about poking Caitlin in the eye, or shoving her mid-drive, or tossing her to the ground just to make a point? Sophie will be there, probably already mid-sprint, already calculating how to make the hit legal enough to get away with, but hard enough to make you question your career choices, become the deterrent the league didn't want, but absolutely needed. She's not here for awards, she's not here for spotlight, she's here for consequences. And now, for the first time this season, it's not Clark who's scared to play. It's everyone else scared to play her, because Caitlin Clark might be the future of the league. But Sophie Cunningham, she's the fortified wall around that future. She's the thunderstorm no one accounted for. The force of nature in a ponytail and high tops, reminding everyone that respect on the court isn't given, it's enforced. So if you're thinking of throwing elbows, you better bring a helmet. And if you support Sophie Cunningham, the protector, the punisher, the enforcer of Indiana, comment Enforcer Sophie down below, smash that like button, and subscribe for more stories they don't want you to hear, because this is the Sophie era now. So if you're thinking of throwing elbows, you better bring a helmet, because Sophie's not just a deterrent. She's a shift in the WNBA's entire power structure. The moment she steps on the court, the mood changes. Players tighten up, coaches glance at the bench, fans lean forward because they know what's coming. Full contact accountability, no speeches, no debates, just business. And that business is making sure Caitlin Clark never takes another hit without a response. Immediate, personal, tactical. And here's the truth the league doesn't want to admit. The WNBA is now must-watch television, not just because of highlight plays or buzzer beaters, but because of the growing storm surrounding Caitlin Clark. And right at the center of that storm is Sophie Cunningham, a force, a shield, a statement. She didn't audition for this role. She earned it with grit, timing, and unshakable loyalty. Every time Caitlin gets up after a dirty hit, Sophie's already plotting the next move. And with every game, her legend grows. She's not chasing stardom, she's redefining what it means to ride for your squad in a league that too often forgets what that even looks like. So buckle up, because this war is just getting started.